After a night spent struggling to keep the Kettilund afloat, our bedraggled crew begins another day, thankful to have avoided becoming another statistic.
Okay, I see our destination.
On our own mission to retrace the route of Flight 19, we are approaching the time when Lieutenant Taylor started to seriously doubt what his compass was telling him.
And let's start a left turn now.
We're flying over Great Stirrup Key, about an hour into our flight, right on schedule.
And as we proceed northbound, it looks like our heading is nice and stable.
We turn northeast and head towards Great Sail Key, the point Flight 19 never found. Along the way, pilot Rick Siegfried will look for Grand Bahama Island, the landmark Lieutenant Taylor never saw, and closely monitor the compass.
What's your compass doing?
The compass is steady as a rock.
Nothing weird happening with the compass?
Not a thing. It's steady as a rock.
The question is, will the compass stay accurate? Or will we, too, lose our way in the Bermuda Triangle? It seems like anyone who spends time in this area has a tale about electromagnetic malfunction or spinning compasses. Remember when our captain struggled to get an accurate reading from his compasses?
I'm steering by GPS. I have a regular magnetic compass and a flux gauge compass, and neither of them are cooperating.
Well, there's something about the area of the triangle. There's something, either its placement on the globe, the unique weather conditions, humidity that causes the electric charges, something beneath the sea.
But what could it be? Science has no real explanation for phenomena encountered here by people like Krista Brown, a diving instructor in Bimini.
My husband Brown and I have been on the boat before with a compass and with a GPS, and the two of them are not aligned with one another. One is telling you to go 25 degrees one way and the other is 25 degrees in the opposite direction. There's some force or some energy or something out there that's causing them not to align up.
William Kittinger, the air traffic controller who witnesses a plane disappear, also experiences electromagnetic deviations as a pilot.
As I was climbing out of Great Inagua to Port-au-Prince, as I was climbing out, I believe I flew around 6,000 feet. My compass started spinning. I'd never seen a compass do that before. It lasted approximately 5 to 10 minutes,
Kittinger had an electronic compass that is still working, but other pilots are not so lucky. Memories of scary magnetic deviations still haunt pilot Carrie Trantham years after a terrifying flight. She is flying solo to Key West one evening. She's expecting an easy flight.
There were really high clouds up there, and I thought that everything was going to be great. And all of a sudden, it was like a blanket fell over my airplane, and I was in pitch dark. All of a sudden, I'm not sure what the plane is doing. I lose control of the airplane.
Carrie's instruments are totally erratic. She has no horizon, no way to navigate. She is engulfed by what seems like a thick fog.
I wasn't sure if I was upside down, right side up, going north or south or what. I thought that I was going to die.
She levels her wings and tries to call local air traffic control for help, but even the radio has inexplicably gone out.
I tried to contact the radio frequency that I had been given before this happened. I hadn't talked to that controller yet, so I tried to call that controller. There was no response.
Finally, after what seems to Carrie like an eternity, the lights of Miami appear. Her instruments start working again, and she navigates her way home. Is Carrie Trantham surrounded by some kind of strange and dangerous fog? Krista Brown, the diving instructor in Bimini, says she has encountered bizarre fog out on the water.
About a mile out, a fog just overtook the whole entire boat. All of a sudden, it just appeared like a cloud, and then it just encrusted all around us. It was very disorienting because you didn't know where you were going. You couldn't see any other landmarks.
Fog is created over water when the water is warmer than the air. But Krista says those conditions weren't in place.
It was kind of freaky. Very, very, very strange.
Does this fog have an electromagnetic component to it? Could magnetic deviations be the key to the mystery of Flight 19? High in the air above the vast Bermuda Triangle, we continue to retrace the path of doomed Flight 19. We've now hit the hour-and-a-half mark, when for the 5 Navy Avengers, the unexplainable starts to happen. At 3:40 p.m. on December 5th, 1945, the pilots expected to see Grand Bahama Island, but all they saw was ocean.
I definitely am starting to see the landmass, which I am going to assume is Grand Bahama. It's about the only large landmass out here.
About 90 minutes into our flight, we fly over it.
Boy, I can't see how anybody would have missed Grand Bahama Island if they'd been anywhere close to the right point.
This is the point in time when Lieutenant Taylor notices that both his compasses are acting erratically. He gets confused. Does he have spatial disorientation? Or is he a victim of something stranger? One individual who thinks he holds the key to the mystery of the Bermuda Triangle is pilot Bruce Gernon. While flying from Andros Island in the Bahamas to Miami in 1974, he has an experience that is so bizarre, he spends 30 years researching it. About 30 miles into his trip, he enters a strange cloud.
An unusual thing about it was that it seemed to come right out of the ocean itself. It had no base or no ceiling to fly under. So I penetrated into it, and it was eerie inside. It was full of electricity, but there was no precipitation.
Then, Gernon says the clouds formed into a strange, perfectly shaped tunnel, and he was trapped flying in it.
These strange lines formed, and they were spiraling and turning counterclockwise very slowly. And then I noticed my electronic instruments weren't functioning properly. Even the magnetic compass was slowly rotating counterclockwise. We contacted Miami Radio, and they were unable to locate us on radar.
A few terrifying minutes pass, and then the spiraling lines of the tunnel suddenly disappear. To his astonishment, Gernon realizes he is right over Miami Beach.
I immediately looked at my watch and noticed I'd been flying only 33 minutes. But once I entered the tunnel, time and space started to change, and I experienced a space-time warp. And it only took me 3 minutes to travel to Miami. So that's 100 miles in 3 minutes.
After years of research, Gernon concludes that he was enveloped by a phenomena he calls electronic fog.
This electronic fog has the capability of attaching itself to boats and airplanes.
Gernon says pilots can suddenly find themselves stuck in this fog, which clings to vessels, inducing spatial disorientation. He thinks the fog causes electromagnetic malfunction. Instruments no longer work. The pilot has no sense of direction and no means to navigate. Electronic fog, he says, can be so intense that it creates a time storm, like the tunnel he narrowly escaped.
Many of the planes and ships that have disappeared may have entered into a time storm that was so intense that they disintegrated.
Gernon is not alone in thinking that time and space disorientations occur in the triangle. One theory is that Flight 19 traveled through a portal to another dimension. In scientific terms, this is called a